This is the UTV 44 Game of the Week Preview Show, brought to you by Metro PCS.
Another week of high school football here on UTV 44. Jim Cox and Dan Brennan as we get you ready for the matchup tonight as we have McGill-Toolen playing host to Theodore, 7A Region 1 matchup. And we're here at Metro PCS, at the one on Airport Boulevard, way west on Airport Boulevard. But stop by and see our friends here at Metro PCS and any of their locations here in Mobile and Baldwin County.
It's not way west to the people who live further west.
Well, I guess you're
that's the Eastern Shore perspective on things.
It's way, yeah, I guess you're right. It's just east of Schillinger Road. How's that?
Okay.
Right. So that's a little better perspective, I guess, where we're at. Well, thank you, Magellan, for bringing us up with the update as to where we're at. But we're at Metro PCS, so it means another week of high school football. Hey, before we talk about McGill and Theodore, last week, we see the Spanish Fort team, and it's same old Toros. I mean, really a very impressive road win at Saraland.
Yeah, they're getting better, no doubt about it. And they've got, you watch this in high school football, Jim, and we talk about this, and it's not normally the case in levels above high school, but people start to fit into the places where they are going to be most productive, maybe not individually, but as a team. And when coaches start figuring out, oh, I'll tell you what, let's try this. Let's put this guy here. And when teams are coached as diligently as they are at Spanish Fort, and you get everybody on the same page, and you get those players in a position not to just make plays, but to just do their job, especially when you watch them defensively. They do a great job of everybody doing their job. I think they're going to be something to be reckoned with postseason.
Without question. And it's one of those, it's you talked about the coaching they have, but it's just that it's something that it's hard to, Lev Holly talks about building a culture at Blunt, and coaches talk about that. It's hard, it's very hard work to do that, whereas you have Spanish Fort has so much success, and those kids don't know anything else. I mean, that's all they've ever known is winning and dominating on the football field. That's all they've known.
Well, in a very similar situation as Saraland, I think that's why it was a heck of a measuring stick. They've got a great quarterback who's a senior. They've had some injuries, but at the same time, these teams you were expecting to see a real couple of rams on the hill, where it was a toss of the coin. And that's not what we saw. Again, I would say, in fairness to Saraland, they've had some injuries that at the high school level can really get you. Where Spanish Fort, at full strength, they are definitely one of the top 6A teams in the state.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to want to play them anytime in the near future. That's for sure. We were talking about matchup that we had last week, and looking forward to that one. This one here tonight. So you got a McGill team that kind of, again, McGill just keeps being McGill. They come in 8-0, and we'll talk more about that and the winning streak they have. And then you have a Theodore team that comes in, and you see their record is 5-3. And you kind of, like you were talking about just with Coach Collier before we went on the air, you kind of scratch your head and you're like, that's a very misleading. It's just like a shocking 5-3 almost.
Well, look, they only lost to Fairhope by 3. We saw them lose to Murphy in double overtime. I like Theodore, and we only got a chance to see him one time this year. They've got a really solid quarterback. They've got good players on the outside. They've got Hunter Tillman, a little special teams guy, and a receiver who could be kind of real pesky. They're a good team, and I think that McGill would be short-sighted if they were just going to roll into the lip tonight thinking they were going to have one, because I don't see this as being anything but a tough game tonight for both teams.
Yeah, it's why it's the game of the week here on UTV 44. We're excited to see it, and Theodore playing for their playoff lives, if you will. They've got to keep winning, and McGill really continues to dominate in the region. They've won 24 straight region games, 23 in a row overall in the regular season. So we'll talk all about the matchup here tonight. McGill and Theodore tonight on UTV 44. We are at Metro PCS. We're in West Mobile. We're on Airport Boulevard in West Mobile.
Leave it at that.
Yeah, out there just past the big Ford dealership right before Schillinger Road. But they've got Metro PCSs all throughout Mobile and Baldwin County. Stop by and see our friends when you're looking for a cellular phone or accessories. When we come back, we'll talk Bobcat football. Coach Eric Collier joins us, and quarterback Trevor Andrews is with us here as well tonight. So that comes up right after this. Metro PCS, we are at the location 7335 Airport Boulevard. Even more specific now, we know exactly where we're at. If you're a fan of these guys, Theodore, 5646 Old Pascagoula Road, Suite D, or at the Rouses at 7325 Theodore Dawes Road. And again, locations all over Mobile and Baldwin County. Trevor Andrews, quarterback of the Theodore Bobcats here, Eric Collier, the coach, with us. And you probably just heard us talking. I mean, and I know you have to, you Bill Parcells, your record is what it is. You look at your game this week, but you look back and you kind of scratch your head and say, oh, this has just been one of those, it's been a wonky season on some of those tight losses for you.
It has, it's been a good season, but you're 2 or 3 plays away from being 7-1. Mm-hmm. So, but again, you got to make those plays. You look at the Fairhope game, we drop a ball in the last play of the ball game to win the game. Then last week we're losing double overtime, or 2 weeks ago we're losing double overtime. But again, you look back and we played well last week and we feel good about the way our kids played and what we're doing.
Let's talk about this region where, not a lot of weeks off.
No.
I mean, Bryant's on the move up. You had to play them after, a very tough loss.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, not a lot of chances to just breathe, throw the ball out there and get a win.
You're right. And I tell you what you deal with is you get midway through your season and your injury starts to pile up on you. And we've been pretty fortunate, but, we went through about 3 weeks there to where, you're looking at kids playing on the field and you think, I wasn't going to play him this year. But they're doing fine. We've had some good surprises. So it's a good thing, and you got to plan for those things. But again, when you're in a 9-team region, there are no days off.
Right.
And I got a buddy of mine at Enterprise, and they're in a 7-team region, and I tell him all the time, don't ever get in a 9-team region.
And it's, there were some, careful what you wish for, some people wanted the 7A, wanted more things, and it's like, especially if you're, if you're a huge school, really can help you there, but if you're not going to have those huge enrollment numbers at 7A, that really can be a big difference as well.
Yeah. And we're kind of middle of the pack.
Right.
Yeah. We're 1,500, so we're middle of the pack.
All right, Trevor, so as one of the leaders of this team, had the tough loss against Murphy, rallied back, played really well last week. Kind of know the challenge you have in front of you. Another big game here tonight against McGill.
Yes, sir.
When you look at McGill, what do you see as you prepare for tonight's game?
They're a very solid team. They don't have a lot of missed assignments anywhere, offense or defense, and they really, I see, like when I'm watching film, they play hard, but they really beat teams in the special teams, and they let teams beat themselves off and on all year.
We've talked about that so many times with McGill, how they're just always in the right place. They never beat themselves. You kind of have a history with this young man. Like I think you told the story during the Murphy game as well.
But I was invited by David Morris of QB Country to watch one of his sessions, which I was really impressed with, by the way. I think he could make me pretty good, but I might be wrong. But at the same time, Trevor was one of the young guys that was between your freshman and sophomore year.
Yes, sir.
Talk about your relationship with David Morris and how that's helped you become a better quarterback.
Well, I mean, from my 8th grade to 9th grade year, it was a huge step going with him for just that year, and it just took me a huge step up, and we have a very close relationship. He texts me every now and then, how's the season going, what's happening, anybody injured, what's going on, and stuff like that.
You know what I love too, Jim? We were visiting with Coach before the game, the Murphy game. You and your athletic director had so many good stories about these kids. Had nothing to do with football. These kids are achieving in the classroom down at Theodore like crazy.
Well, that's a blessing. We've got great kids, and you come up there and you watch the kids as they grow. I've seen Trevor. First pass he ever thrown went 98 yards against Davidson. He wasn't even expecting to play that night.
Wow.
So you see them grow and develop, and you're proud of them. And we've been blessed. I look this weekend, and we turned the Alabama game on, and I got Sean Schamberger starting at corner. Right. For Tennessee, and then Jamie Mosley starting outside backer at Alabama. And well, not starting, but he's playing a bunch. And I thought, I'm a blessed man. I've been around really good kids.
Trevor's talking about, a private quarterback coach, if you will, if that's the best way to describe David Andrews. And just like, does it ever surprise you how different the game is today from a way the students are able to prepare, how much more year-round it is, and just how much more emphasis there is than, say, even back when you played football, and that wasn't all that long ago in high school.
But it has changed, and I'm not so sure it's a good thing. I'll be honest with you guys. It's a year-round thing, and if you're not careful with kids, you wear them out. So, and Trevor plays baseball, so he gets a little bit of a break. But you look at Hunter Tillman plays receiver for us. Well, in the past, he's played You know, he's played football, baseball, and basketball. Started all three, and he's top 10 in his class. So you wonder, you don't want to push them too much because, again, they're still kids, and you want to make sure they're having fun. But then again, you got to prepare too, because if you're not prepared, you're going to be in trouble.
So as you look at McGill, kind of, I would think echoing probably the same thoughts that Trevor was just sharing, the same thing we see each time we see a McGill team, that they really never beat themselves. You have to earn it when you get a victory against them.
Well, you know, they're a carbon copy of I think, of Fairhope. Fairhope's the same way. You know, both those teams, they're going to line up right. They're going to execute. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. They're not great on offense. They're not great on defense. They're not great on, but both of those teams are really good at all three phases of the game. And you know, that's what it takes.
Yeah, win those three. Win two of those three. Usually you got a chance to win the game on Friday night. All right, Trevor, nice to meet you. Be safe out there. Coach, we'll see you in the last segment. I wasn't here last time, so he didn't get to play Brennan and Brent out. And Coach Hill's back. But look, there's the look from Coach Hill. Ooh, those players have gotten that look, and now I just got one as well. Stick around. We're here at Metro PCS. Again, if you're a Theodore fan, one out on Old Pascagoula Road, one on Theodore Dawes Road at the Rouses. When we come back, Coach Hill is here. We will talk about the Jackets, the unbeaten McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets. They take on Theodore tonight here on UTV 44. UTV 44 game of the week. McGill-Toolen playing host to the Theodore Bobcats 7A matchup here tonight on UTV 44. Metro PCS want to let you know you can choose 4 phones from brands like Samsung, LG, Motorola, and you can also get 4 free lines here at Metro PCS. And they give you 4 lines of unlimited data for only $100, period. $100.
You did very well with that. When I filled in for you, all of that came out kind of Korean.
Well,
no one understood anything I said.
Yeah, well, you know, me and reading is not really not my specialty on the air. We know 17 years together, we know that.
But you split the upright for that one.
Jack Martin is here from the McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets head coach Ernest Hill as well. And all right, Coach, so we were just talking about, you might have heard us talking with Coach Collier there about tough matchup week in and week out. We were talking about that 5-3 record for Theodore. What do you see when you look at this Theodore Bobcat team coming into the matchup tonight?
Well, first of all, they're not a 5-3 team. They're, 8-0, 7-1 team. They done lost some close games. Coach Collier and his staff, they do a great job. They pretty similar to us on defense. They run the same scheme. And on offense, they are a run first, pass second, kind of like us. It's going to be a tough football game. It's always a tough football game when we play Theodore. He'll have those guys ready to go.
Any emerging headlines since the last time we saw the Yellow Jackets? I notice you haven't lost, so that's good. You got a tough running back that gets you the tough yards that you need. And I know that you were really depending on that offensive line early in the season to begin to get better. How are you doing there?
They're getting a lot better, man. Right now we can play 8 offensive linemen, eight guys, and
that's a huge luxury. I mean, that's a huge luxury.
It is, and a lot of them guys, a lot of them played last year. I think, well, let me correct myself on that. I think 3 of those guys actually played last year, and the rest of them, the other 5, they're coming along. Very proud of them. They're working their tail off during the day. Coach Ansberg and Coach Z, he does a great job with them every day, just preparing those guys, trying to put them in the right position, and we try to play a little bit tougher. And right now they got a little attitude about themselves, and I like it.
You got to have that defensive guys, especially. They always really like that attitude. Jack Martin. Okay, so we talk about just Dan was talking about players like at Spanish Fort. We were recapping the game, saying how you have players who fit in to the scheme, play on the team level. Tell us about Jack Martin here.
Jack, he was with us last year, and Jack probably could have easily played last year as a sophomore. He punts for us. He does a great job, and he works his tail off during the day. Sometimes we have to catch him. Sometimes he'll go in the locker room and, Coach, I'm going here to lift weights. We have to go in that locker room, and he's in there, having a cup of water. Coach, he'll have some dumbbells doing this right here. But some days, his days get, while we practice, his days get a little bored. Right. And, but he works his tail off. Trying to place the ball in the proper spot, try to get high kicks. But he works his tail off. I'm very proud of Jack. Very proud of him.
Card-carrying member of the Kickers Union. I like, they're all a little off. They're all a little off in their own way. Hey, I always thought the best gig in the NFL would be a punter. Like, I mean, you're not making $15 million a year, but you're living pretty large.
Pretty comfortable, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you agree? That'd be a good gig, right?
It would. She's ready.
Yeah. Hey, punting, and you probably don't remember it, but you do, like it's just changed. Like, it's a whole different part of the game in the way the ball is kicked, presented, and it's totally different than it used to be, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I feel like it's a lot more big deal now, ball placement.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
They're asking you to do more than punters probably 10 years ago.
Yes,
it was
sir.
like, get it off, and then we'll go figure it out.
Yes, sir.
Now they're asking you to be almost like a golfer. Choose the right club, put it in a particular place. Do you find that as a challenge, or do you find that annoying?
It's a challenge because, I mean, it is tough to kick it where the coach wants you to. I mean, I think it's more of an art.
But it really is, you mentioned a golfer, but I mean, there are different kicks. You try to put a backspin on the ball so it checks up. You try to knuckle it, a rugby-style kick. I mean, there's a lot of clubs in your bag, isn't there?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you've seen, I mean, like, you heard Trevor Andrews just saying how good he sees you are on special teams watching films. Talk about just like how big a difference like having a weapon like Jack can have or a punter that can place it. I mean, it's such a different part of the game than it used to be.
It is. Like I said, we work on special teams every day, and we work on special team all through the summer, and so we don't be behind when the fall starts. So with a kicker like him, man, he's tall, he has a long leg, he has a big leg, and when he kicks the ball, he gets a lot of height on the ball, and I'll say probably 80%, 85% of the time, when the return guy catch it, we're right on top of him just because his height, because his kicks is high. And he knows that's what we want, and, it makes it easier for the defense because as soon as that guy catch the ball, they stop right there. So
I mean, when you see a game when the field's tilted all night,
yeah.
I mean, it really wears down the other team as well. But you got to, I mean, and it's maybe sometimes a bit of a thankless job, the punter. And everybody recognizes how great a job you're doing, but I got to think your teammates got your back. They get it, right?
oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, we'll try to do our job in the press box on Friday. If you
Don't
do it
shank
right,
one. Don't shank one. Don't want
he'll
to.
crawl all over you. This guy has no mercy. I take care of the young people, but we'll praise you if you do some good stuff out there, okay?
And I think there's a reason too. Like I watch a lot of NFL. Some of the coaches, biggest name coaches, Belichick, Harbaugh, those they were special teams coach. That's where they cut their teeth, and really because it's such an integral part of the game. All right, Coach, stick around here for our last segment. I know you've been preparing all day for Brent in, Brent out. You've been preparing. Yeah.
I have.
Metro PCS, your McGill-Toolen fan, 1270 Spring Hill Avenue. He prepares like he's punting when he's in the weight room. It's very similar, very similar. Again, Metro PCS, 4 lines, unlimited LTE data for just $100. Stick around. We'll wrap things up. We're 10 minutes from kickoff here tonight. McGill and Theodore on UTV 44. McGill and Theodore tonight here on UTV 44. It's our week number 9 match. I guess it's week 10, 9 for the schools. Ninth game as we get ready to close things out here on the regular season and a big matchup in 7A. And Coach, for your team, I mean, your kids know what's on the line tonight. I mean, they know they're smart young men. They know this is a must-have in region play.
It's not necessarily a must-have. Big thing is this. It's a big game. It's a big region game. So we need to have it. But again, if something happens and we don't get it, we got to go over and beat Foley and hope and pray Murphy loses to Davis.
Right. It'd be nice to
it'd be a lot nicer to just get the win.
Yeah, and you, on the other hand, where you just have, got to keep your kids focused, doing the same things you've been doing every week so you can continue rolling on, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's tough doing that from week in and week out, but, because you are dealing with young men.
Yeah, and I would think that, coaching's, you have challenges all over, no matter if your team's got 2 wins or 8 wins, but I would think, like, keeping them in the moment, like in the moment when dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, a big challenge?
It is. But, one thing we always preach every day is it's about us. It's not about nobody else, just about us.
Yeah.
And it makes it a little easier.
Keep them in the moment, that's it?
He just said it, and I still think Coach Saban talks about all the time, be where your feet are. We're about today, we're about the next play. And a lot of times kids get hung up when they blow a play, And the big thing is this: don't let one play carry over 2, 3, 4, 5 plays. Go play the next one.
Yeah, gotta have that short-term memory when you're a player. Get on there to the next
That's right.
the next one. All right, so so we play this game called Brent in and Brent out. I bring up a topic to Dan Brennan. He says he's either Brent in, like his last name, or he's Brent out. And so then you'll see. Yeah, you'll see how it goes. It's pretty
Not as scary as when I hosted. The last time we were
pretty easy. As we get close to Halloween, and Dan Brennan, candy corn.
Candy corn. Bren out.
I'm out on that one.
I'm out.
Yeah, no use for it. No use.
I don't know.
Use for it all. It's hunting season, Dan Brennan. Brent in at the hunting camp.
I'll tell you what, if it's got satellite. If you got
There's nothing to
satellite,
do with hunting either, right?
satellite, nice grill, Brent in.
Yeah. How about you?
You know, I'd love to, but
can't.
usually don't have time, so it's out.
A little busy.
Same thing.
Yeah,
we don't have time.
Yeah, I'll cook, I'll entertain. I'm just not up there to hurt anything. All right, The Walking Dead.
Brent out.
Brent.
I'm in on that one.
In on that one.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen. I would not have guessed. Not have guessed that. Get in on Curb Your Enthusiasm. You like that one too. All right, roller coasters, Dan Brennan.
Brent in.
Yeah.
Out.
I'm in.
Ian, okay. I kind of ambivalent on that. All right, coming up in just about a week. No Shave November. Dan Brennan, I would.
Well, it's for a good cause. So
Right.
I'm in for the cause, but I could go through November and you never could tell that I wasn't shaving. So I'm out.
Yeah, I never did it because of the TV. I didn't want to look scraggly on Friday nights. How about you?
I'm boring. I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, you're like.
I really don't grow hair on my face. I mean, so
Well,
I'm probably. I'll be in on that one.
Yeah. Way better than Brennan would be. All right. And Brennan, wearing slippers around the house.
I don't know where you come up with these. That would be Bren out.
Pair of slippers?
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll wear slippers. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'm in.
All right, I thought,
Yeah,
I thought it was a pointed question. It embarrassed me that it looks like no.
That was it. Colin Cowherd.
Out.
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 Oh, Ian, big in on Colin Cowherd. All right, so
Well, it's hard to be in on somebody who is sure he knows everything.
okay, that's why. Last one. My Chicago Bears beat the Saints in the Superdome Sunday at noon. I'll be there. How
Not
about
going to happen. Brent out, and I'm not rooting for the Bears.
The Saints got that one. I'm out.
All three. Wrong. All three, all are wrong. Kickoff coming up in just a few minutes. It's McGill-Toolen playing host to the Theodore Bobcats right here on UTV 44 7A matchup. Kickoff again about 5 minutes away. Thanks to our friends here at Metro PCS. 4 lines of unlimited data for only $100. Stick around. Kickoff comes up next from the Lip.